Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Measure for Measure, and today we get to hear from Angelo in Act 2, Scene 1. And if you remember, Angelo is the one who has been left in charge of cleaning up Vienna because the Duke didn't want to take responsibility for enforcing laws that he hadn't been enforcing for the last, 14 or 19 years, some ridiculous amount of time. So Angelo, being very strict and very pious and very proper and all that sort of thing, has been left in charge and been told to clean up Vienna. Aeschylus has been left sort of second in charge and thinks that maybe Angelo is going a little bit too far because, Angelo condemned Claudio to die because he got his common law wife pregnant, and Aeschylus is like, maybe that's not necessarily so bad. And yesterday he was sort of playing the let he who is without sin cast the first stone card when he was sort of saying to Angelo, maybe we should be a little more lenient. Like, yes, he should be punished for this, but maybe he doesn't have to die for this, kind of a thing. And Angelo responds by saying, "'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I not deny, the jury passing on the prisoner's life may in the sworn 12 have a thief, or two, guiltier than him they try. What's open made to justice, that justice seizes. What knows the laws, that thieves do pass on thieves. 'Tis very pregnant, the jewel that we find, we stoop and take it, because we see it. But what we do not see, we tread upon and never think of it. You may not so extenuate his offense, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me, when I, that censure him, do so offend, let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial." Sir, he must die. So what he's saying here is that just because, his first point is there's a difference between being tempted to do something and actually doing it. He's like, I may have been tempted at some point in the past to sleep with a woman, but Claudio actually did it, and he got Julieta pregnant. So there's a big difference there. But what he's also saying is when we see a crime, we have to punish people for it. Just because other people may have committed crimes that we didn't see doesn't mean that we shouldn't punish the ones that we do see, because that's how we set the example, and that's how we start to deter people from committing crimes that we can't or won't or don't see. So just because I might have been guilty of something in the past and didn't get caught doesn't mean that he should be let off the hook now that he has been caught doing this thing. And Aeschylus doesn't really like that response very much, but he's second in charge, so what can he really do about it? And Angelo actually moves up the timeline on Claudio's death. Originally, Claudio was going to be beheaded 3 days from now, and now he's set to be beheaded 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And Aeschylus is a little upset by this. But then Constable Elbow, great name, comes in with Froth and Pompey, who he found in a brothel, and he wants to arrest them for this. But there's a lot of Pompey in the folio is just referred to as clown. So this is the clowning segment of the play. And it's, again, we've got brothels, we've got, there's a lot of sexual innuendo in this bit. And they talk around in circles enough about what they have or have not done that Elbow wants to arrest them for, that Angelo eventually just gets bored with it and leaves. He's like, by the time you guys get to the point, I'll be frozen dead in Russia, kind of a thing. So just make sure that they get whipped or punished for this, whatever. He leaves Aeschylus in charge. And Aeschylus continues to question Froth and Pompey, who continue to talk around in circles and that sort of thing. And finally Aeschylus is like, just don't do it again, kind of a thing. He basically just lets them go with a slap on the wrist, sort of a thing. And then he and Elbow go off, and Aeschylus is still kind of sort of trying to figure out a way to maybe help Claudio. He's still disturbed by the whole Claudio situation. And that's the end of Act 2, Scene 1. So I will see you tomorrow when we get into Act 2, Scene 2, when we get to hear if Isabella is effective in pleading for her brother's life as well. There's a lot of people on Claudio's side, and really only Angelo on Angelo's side. So we'll see who wins. I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.